Man, I miss the old WWE. I did mostly been raised mostly in ruthless aggression era. I haven't actually been raised much in the Attitude era because I was a kid and we were poor and we didn't watch wrestling as much, you know. But the Attitude, but not the Attitude era, the ruthless aggression era, it was a lot more better, you know. I believe it's better, you know. People were like more intense, you know. They were superstars back then, you know. They were, you know, Vince used to like make stars out of like, for example, like Batista, JBL, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. Triple H was okay, but he's not. He wasn't that good. You know, he just all talking and too much action. You know, um, who else was like a good superstar? Randy Orton was okay. You know, um, yeah. I mean, those characters were pretty good back then. But today's standards in wrestling, you know, there's like no superstars in today's modern wrestling. You know, like the modern WWE, it's a lot more lamer. It's more boring. You know, the only superstar that I actually want to be a superstar is LA Knight. You know, LA Knight was a okay superstar. He has charisma. You know, and he checks out with the fans. You know, he's the only superstar that I know that is a good, you know, good star, rising star. You know, and I don't know, man. It just wrestling these days is just not the same as they used to back then. You know, the Attitude Era was okay. I just saw on YouTube the Attitude Era, and when I watched YouTube, it was okay. You know, it wasn't that great. You know, but the Ruthless Aggression Era had more style. You know, they had more aggression. You know, they used to like slam their opponents really hard. They were back talk, you know. They were good heels. They were good bay faces, you know. Especially with John Cena with his rap battles, you know. He was rapping a lot of times. I didn't see much of it when I was young, but it was pretty cool. I really liked that type of John Cena. Not today's Cena, that just you know that's part of corporate and stuff like that. I don't like that type of Cena. You know, I miss the old John Cena where he was rapping. You know, when he was a heel. You know, let's see what else I want to talk about WWE. You know, when I watch WWE on YouTube, I don't have cable. Sorry, you know, I watch it in YouTube. What's going on in WWE, and there's like a lot of people wrestling, but I don't know who they are. You know, there's no big names. You know, the only like few names is like Gunther, LA Knights, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, and you know, they just, you know, these are names that is popping up for now. You know, they're not really good wrestlers as they were in the Attitude Era, but not the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. Sorry, I keep mixing it up. Yeah, these stars are not like quite great compared to the Ruthless Aggression Era stars. You know, they're just mostly quite boring. There's no blood in their faces. You know, we don't have these announcers that they don't talk really, you know, how's it, what's that word called? Um, they don't oversell their opponents. Like, oh my gosh, you know how Jr. used to you know yell a lot in his announces when their superstars doing something fierce, you know, in the ring, you know, and it was very special. You know, JR made the match very special, but now today's announcers they don't really talk like that anymore. They only talk only about internet stuff, like oh, go to Twitter, oh, go to Netflix.com. You know, they keep doing that stuff. You know, it's just really boring. You know, like who cares about those stuff? You know, I want to see wrestling, not freaking not a Honolulu show. You know, like talk about wrestling. You know, we're wrestling, not trying to go to a pageant or something. You know, wrestling changed over the years because The people that own WWE now, I think they're called TKO. Um, it seems that Vince already sold his wrestling company to TKO. Um, I don't know who those people are. They're corporate to me. I think they're corporate, man. And you know, Triple H is like the CEO of wrestling now, and he doesn't book good shows. It's not good. It doesn't make me, excited. They're booking people that I don't know. These superstars, what they call them. Um, when they come down, they don't have like good music. They don't have good entrance theme. So I don't know who's coming out because they have some random theme songs that it just doesn't really occur to me to make me a favorite. It doesn't make me have a favorite in WWE because their theme songs are not entertaining. It's just random songs that they just put just for the sake of it. And yeah, I mean, like that day is really boring. It's garbage. Nothing's going on. You're not gonna miss out anything. They have Roman Reigns being the OTC thing, which I don't really give two crud about. I don't care if he's from OTC. He's not a good wrestler. He doesn't know how to wrestle. All he does is a spear. He only does a Superman punch, and that's all he does. He doesn't do anything else. He doesn't lift his opponent like doing a suplex or body slam or DDT, or he doesn't do any of that. He doesn't lift his superstars and stuff like that. He's not a good wrestler. I want to see a wrestler like Kurt Angle, for example. He does a lot of moves. He has a move set. Not today's wrestlers that don't have a move set. They don't know what moves to put. It's not the same as the ruthless aggression era. And it sucks, man. It's really disappointing. I just wish that he will be back to his old roots. But everything's for kids now. Everything is just for kids, and they're ruining everything, man. It's just sad. It's a sad reality that we're living in. So, anyways, everyone, that's my point of view. That's what I feel like. How I feel about wrestling. So, anyways, everyone, God bless.